Adam Christ from MyMMANews.com, being joined by Blair Wilt, who, unfortunately, he's without an opponent, but he's always in the gym, he's always training, and he's always ready to go. He was getting ready for a fight at Cagezilla coming up, but he's got some stuff that he's sorting out right now. But before we get into all that, I got to thank him for joining me. Blair, I appreciate you joining me, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Like I said, thank you so much for joining me on this Friday night. I know it's probably your weekend. You're trying to have some fun, but I appreciate you joining me.
No, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, man. So you're scheduled to compete, but like I said, you don't have an opponent just yet. And before we got into the chat, you filled me in on some wild news. So when I was doing my homework getting into this interview, I saw that you had one win as an amateur and then one loss as a professional. And you were
Right.
saying you weren't even supposed to be fighting as a professional at that juncture. So what exactly happened to put you in this predicament?
So honestly, I have no idea. The card that I had just fought on for CFFC was an amateur fight. It was me and Scalio, and just I just had information yesterday that it was as a pro fight. So I don't know necessarily what that means, given that I just got the information. You said I still have stuff to sort out and see where I can go from here. So
Did you have shin pads on in your fight?
we did, and I didn't
You
get any pay for the fight. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure if it was a mistake by someone, if they put it in wrong, or you know what I mean?
I mean, as far as the Pennsylvania rules go, was it in Pennsylvania?
It was, yes.
Yeah, so as far as Pennsylvania rules go, if you have shin gear on, you have any gear on, then that's an amateur fight. Not only that,
Right,
but you're not receiving payment. That's an amateur fight. So
right,
definitely, I would think that needs to get sorted out. But that is
right.
wild, dude. How is
Yeah.
that you're just starting your MMA career, 1-0 as an amateur, and now 1-1 as a pro amateur? Like, how is that, like, trying to get your momentum rolling? How does that feel?
Honestly, it's an interesting thing. It's a lot of people might think of it as a bad thing, given that I'm not a pro fighter and I don't have that experience necessarily. But at the same time, it's a good thing because now maybe other promotions that are more big will start looking at me and looking for better fights, not just fights to see what I can do or see what my skill set is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe I'll have more opportunities with them. So,
But
so it has
bottom
pros and its cons.
Right. So, but bottom line, you are trying to resort back to get your amateur experience built up before making that pro jump, I would imagine.
Most likely, yeah. But
Okay.
like I said, we should have to see what I'm going to do from here. So,
Right. So I guess I was going to say your manager expressed having difficulty finding opponents, and I guess this is the reason why.
right. Yeah.
So I was going to say I wanted to get into your amateur experience you have in the two fights under your belt. Is that the only combat sports experience that you have? Have you trained or competed in other sports?
No. So I actually, I've been training in Williamsport here for 2 years. Training, I've been in the same spot, but I actually am 2-0 as a boxer and 0-1 as a kickboxer.
Mm.
So I had fought for, what's it called? USKA for
Yeah.
kickboxing.
Yep.
And I had lost that fight. Great fight, great promotion. And my very first fight ever was a boxing match. It was in Rocky's gym. I can't remember for the life of me what town that is. But Rocky's gym, and I got my first win there, which was pretty amazing. It was a good day. And then our gym actually is a promotion. It's called Vicious Promotions, and we had our own
Mhm.
fight set up, and I fought in that and won that as well.
So, given that you're kind of in a conundrum right now of figuring out where you are, let's just say worst case scenario that it is what it is. Would you be willing to step up to the pro level at this juncture of your career?
I'd absolutely be willing to, but obviously that would mean that I would have
Right.
to pick my fight smarter, right? Because I'm not trying
Right.
to go who has 15 fights and I have 2, 3, 4 fights, right? That
Right.
just means I have to know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
So yes, I would be willing to. Of course, it'd be all freaking awesome. It's a great experience. I want to be UFC eventually, so
Yeah.
gotta. If this is a jump start that I can take, then yeah. But obviously, like I said, I would have to focus in more on what I'm actually signing up for.
Right. So obviously, from the sounds of it, having the boxing experience, the kickboxing experience, and obviously the stoppage on your record as an amateur, I would fancy you on paper as a striker. Now, my
Right.
question is, how far along on your grappling are you? Like, what's your day to day training looking like?
So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Tuesday and Thursday, we have a jujitsu class. I go to that. I also today, Fridays, I just got done actually. I'm at the gym right now. We just have a judo class, and my corner from my last fight, CFFC, Sean, he's actually my judo coach. So I'm also doing judo for like a kind of ground / striking kind of deal, like in between almost. And then I did wrestling my senior year of high school. And I'm about to start doing some more wrestling with an opportunity that I was given to join a wrestling gym and wrestle with some of their wrestlers as well. So,
Can you give out any of that information? What wrestling gym?
yeah, I can't give any of that out at the moment.
Understandable. Yeah, I had to pry. I had to shoot my shot, right?
I get it.
Nah. So from your last bout, obviously close decision, heck of a fight. But what lessons can you take from that moving forward?
Oh, so many, so many. I have watched that fight so many times, and so many lessons. One of which I need to stop being so comfortable on my back, especially given that the round lengths are 2 minutes. You know what I mean? I gotta learn to either get off my back or attack from my back, work submissions, strikes, whatever it may be, in the grappling aspect. Standing wise, I need to circle away from the cage. I was actually watching the fight, and I was even listening to the announcers be like, he really doesn't want to be against the cage. And then I got up against the cage, got taken down for the third time. And I was like, yeah, that seems about right. So that's another thing that I've been working on is really, if I get close to any wall when I'm training, I'm like, all right, nope, I'm moving, I'm circling out, whatever the case is. So.
Awesome. Observant, a student of the game. That's the best way you can be. Question, how old are you right now?
I'm 18. I turned 19 on March 20th. So.
Oh, wow. So sky is the limit for you, man. You're so young in your career. You got so many years ahead of you. That's awesome.
What's.
Oh, starting to lose you real quick.
Today, I have no idea.
Let's see.
Ooh, what happened?
Yeah, the video got cut off there. I can cut that part out too. You back? You back with me?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, all that little part, I'll just cut all that out. So we'll just get right back into it. So, given given the stature of where you're at right now and whatnot, I mean, April probably it may not be looking like a good time. It may look like a good time. You may be able to figure things out, but ideally, how many fights are you looking to get this year?
I want to try to get at least 3 or 4 in this year for MMA at least.
Are you one of those where you like to kind of predict your future? You want to have this many knockouts, this many stoppages, this many submissions, like just to kind of like keep the level?
Not really. No. I mean,
take what you can get.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm just trying to learn the game, trying to improve. So, I mean, like you said, take what I can get.
What made you want to start MMA training within itself? I mean, it's not basketball, it's not baseball, it's not soccer, it's not your everyday sport. You're getting punched in the face. What made you want to take the decision to take that route?
So my brother Donovan, he was spending the night at my house because we're adopted into different families, but that's a different story. But he was spending the night at my house, and he was like, hey man, I've been interested in like fighting and stuff, and I really want to try an MMA gym. And so I was like, dude, that sounds really cool. I want to join you in that. And then we both went to Williamsport, and I tried it out for a first day. And then the second day, I don't know, something just hit me. It was like, I'm literally in love with this sport. Like I could do this for the rest of my life. And obviously that's what I want to do. Like I told you, I want to be in the UFC. I want to change the world with this. So, just ever since then I had fallen in love with it, and I just put all my heart and soul into it. So
I love it, man. Blair, it was great to talk to you, man. I'm hoping for the opportunity to come up for you. I'm hoping that everything gets resolved for you, because this is just a wild situation I've never even heard of. But it was a pleasure talking, man. I appreciate you taking the time on this Friday night.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you again for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. There he goes, Blair Wilt. He is in search of an opponent, but he is always ready for the call. Make sure you check him out. Instagram, Facebook. You can check him out online. Blair Wilt. I am Adam Christ. Make sure you keep it locked to MyMMANews.com for all your fight news.